The message arrived without warning. A single line, a single voice note, and a single claim that sent millions of hearts into free fall. You all deserve to know the truth about Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan. It didn't come from a paparazzi. It didn't come from a gossip blogger. It came from someone no one expected. A former manager close enough to know everything, and bold enough to speak. Tonight, we open that voice note. For years, the names Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan have lived in the same sentence, not because of a scandal they created, but because of a bond that fans insist never truly faded. They met, worked together, exploded into global fame together, and then disappeared from each other's orbit. Or so it seemed. But this manager, this insider, claims the silence is not what we think. That behind the walls of agencies, schedules, and headlines, a story has been buried. A story about loyalty. A story about fear. A story about two men whose connection changed everything around them. And today we dive into it. According to the manager, there were 3 rules in place during their peak era. 1. Don't mention the other in interviews. 2. Don't appear together in unscheduled public spaces. 3. Don't allow interpretations to fuel the fans. Rules created not by the 2 stars, but by forces behind them. But the truth, the manager said slowly, almost whispering into the recording. They never wanted to be separated. The internet exploded when that line leaked. Fans around the world, from Los Angeles to London, from Manila to Melbourne, felt the shiver, because this wasn't gossip. This was someone who was there. But what exactly did they witness? The manager described moments the public never saw. Wang Yibo cracking a rare smile the second Xiao Zhan entered a room. Xiao Zhan adjusting a mic so Yibo wouldn't bend down. Tiny gestures that spoke volumes. The 2 sharing inside jokes during rehearsals, laughing so hard the staff had to pause recording. The way they defended each other privately, when the industry politics grew suffocating. One moment stood out. It happened after a long shoot at nearly 3 a.m. The manager said they were exhausted. Everyone was leaving. But Yibo stayed back because he noticed Xiao Zhan wasn't okay. He sat with him for almost an hour. No cameras, no staff. Just 2 people who understood each other more deeply than anyone realized. This wasn't romance. This wasn't scandal. This was something far more rare in entertainment. Unfiltered human connection. But as the manager admitted, connections can be threatened. When fame skyrockets too fast, reality bends.
Fan wars.
Agency politics, sponsors demanding distance, rumors tearing 2 innocent people apart. The manager said they didn't separate because they wanted to. They separated because they were told it was the only way to survive. Imagine that. 2 people who rose together were suddenly told that being seen together was a risk. And here's the heartbreaking part. According to the manager, both of them silently agreed, not because they stopped caring, but because they didn't want the other to suffer. A choice born from protection, not distance. The manager revealed a moment during a private planning meeting. A journalist had asked Yibo a question involving Xiao Zhan. The team panicked, but Yibo didn't flinch. He simply said, "He's always been good to me. Whatever people say, I remember that." The room went silent. And then the manager talked about Xiao Zhan. During a separate project, staff overheard him saying softly, "People think the distance is coldness, but it's because the world is watching us too closely." 2 statements, separated by months, said behind closed doors, yet they echo the same truth. Worldwide fans, especially in the US, Europe, Canada, and Southeast Asia, have always been detectives, and they've collected clues for years. Matching bracelet designs worn months apart. Similar captions that seem to mirror each other's state of mind. Songs released at parallel times with eerily connected themes. Nutsaki. Eye contact during award shows. Brief, guarded but unmistakable. A mysterious smile from Xiao Zhan the moment Yibo appeared on a distant stage screen. Coincidence? Maybe, but fans believed otherwise. And the manager confirmed. They never intended to erase those small traces. Some things they held on to. The manager claimed something shocking. The real issue was not between them. It was how powerful they became when people put their names together. Every brand wanted them. Every fan base demanded them. Every storyline gravitated toward them. And sometimes the industry fears power it can't control. So walls were built. Barriers, restrictions, contracts, silence agreements. But here's where everything changes. The manager never said the two are constantly in contact, never said they secretly meet, never said they're still as close as before. But they did say something the world never expected. No matter what happened, they never resented each other. Not once, not through online storms, not through endless rumors, not through forced distance. People think relationships end when the world becomes loud, the manager said quietly. But theirs was quieter and stronger than anyone realized. Will they reunite publicly? Will they appear on screen together again? Will they ever sit for an interview side by side? The manager sighed. Timing is everything in this industry. But nothing is impossible. That was all they said, but sometimes that's enough. Because hope thrives in possibility. And for fans across America, Europe, Asia, Australia, and beyond, the dream of them standing together again is still alive. And after hearing this manager's truth, it may be more alive than ever. The voice note ends with one sentence, one that fans replayed again and again. Whatever story the world believes, their story isn't finished. And maybe, just maybe, that is the truth we've been waiting for. End of script. Before we end tonight's story, I want you to take a moment and breathe, because whether you watched from the US, the UK, Singapore, Canada, Australia, or anywhere in the world, you didn't just hear a rumor. You heard a piece of a much bigger story, a story that has survived silence, storms, distance, and time. And here's the truth that stays long after the video ends. Connections like theirs don't disappear. They transform. They wait. They stay alive in memories, in gestures, in the quiet places fans never see. Tonight, we weren't just viewers. We were witnesses. Witnesses to a bond that refused to be rewritten, no matter who tried. And if there's one thing this manager's confession taught us, it's that some stories continue long after the credits roll. If this video moved you, if even one moment made your heart pause, then don't let this be the end of the conversation. Hit that like button. It tells YouTube that Wang Yibo and Xiao Zhan fans deserve to be heard. Subscribe, because this channel isn't just reporting news. We're preserving the stories, the clues, the emotions, and the truths that others overlook. Turn on all notifications so you never miss the next reveal, the next analysis, the next moment the industry tries to hide. And most important, comment below. Tell me what part hit you the hardest, what truth you think still hasn't been told, and what you wish could happen between them in the future. Your voice decides what video comes next. Your engagement decides who gets to hear their story. And together, we make sure their truth is never buried again.